Welcome to the lower bracket round 2 between Team Possibilities in blue, captained by Destiny, and Team Sample Lords in red, captained by Draconis. Our casters here are myself, LaFon, and for color, I have with me Razor. Welcome, Razor.
Thank you. However, it seems we do have a timeout. Someone was stuck on the loading screen, it looks like. And
yeah, it looks like indeed that Sample Lords has lost their one of their players. He'll be back in 3 to 4 minutes, apparently.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what happened. Like, it seems his computer crashed or something. I'm not entirely sure actually at this point. Or maybe it was the loading screen bug, where you're basically like you're stuck in the loading screen and you just don't get in the game. But we will see how it goes. So far, the both teams. What's actually their team average rating?
So team Possibilities is their average team rank is 54. Sample Lords team average rank is rank 50. Both are on the EU server. Do you know anything sort of about how they'll come towards the to approach this game?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. It really depends up to the picks they will decide to pick. I hope they will try to pick things that are more meta, or how should I say, things that are proven to work to make sure they'll have a smooth and nice team fight. And I also hope they will not split up, will be more cohesive than the last time I watched them over. That is for both of them, actually. So
speaking of meta, do you expect them to run a 2-2-2 team comp?
Yeah, it should be. That is pretty standard. Like this current meta is very team fight oriented, especially because of Lucio and Zenyatta. Because of these two heroes, like speed boost is really strong. It makes your team fights much more fluid because you can reposition or position your teammates properly or much faster in team fights. And with Zen Discord, which increases 50% damage taken by anyone. So it's really good for team fighting, and that's why team fighting overall it's much more emphasized in the current meta because of these two heroes alone.
I think the one thing we'll have to watch out for is if they pick Zenyatta and he is 50%, we'll need to see if they'll be doing the callouts properly where they take full advantage of that Zenyatta Discord orb. Do you think either team, if they run Zenyatta, will be able to do that?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, both teams should run Zenyatta because it is really strong. It really depends how fast will each team be able to react to Discord orbs. It's more about like the Zenyatta might be really good at discording, but if your team is not fast at reaction time to react and hit the same target who's discorded very quickly, it's not gonna pay out either. However, even if they don't focus fire like that crazy, it should still be quite good enough. But I think the game will start shortly. I'm not sure, is he back by any chance?
We're still waiting on the on that final player. We haven't had a reconnect yet, so
okay.
As soon as we get him back in the lobby, we'll be starting up again.
Yeah, exactly. There he is. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Excellent.
All right. It seems both teams are ready. Yeah.
All right, and here we go.
Now entering King's Row.
All right, here we go. Let's see what they're going to decide to pick this time. So far, Sample Lords, I'm not sure. Oh, actually, no. My apologies. I was just confused by the colors, but they seems to be properly, yes. So basically, Sample Lords are on the attack and the possibilities are defending. I'm not sure about the Sample Lords picks. I think they will probably swap around a bit. So I'll wait for them. Meanwhile, I will look at the possibility picks. The Junkrat pick, it seems they run it before quite a lot, extensively. However, Junkrat is very high risk, high reward, hit or miss here in this type of situations, because when you have a Junkrat, you basically want to hold the choke and make them not get through. You do not want to get into a team fight. However, if Sample Lords will push for a team fight, then Junkrat effectiveness becomes much lower, because in an actual team fight, you would not have anything else but the Junkrat. However, it is still probably better than a Symmetra, I might say. So
it looks like Sample Lord has switched up some stuff. They're running the 2 tank, 1 defense. Actually, no, here we go.
They will
some more drastic switches over here.
Yeah, I mean, Sample Lord's picks are very standard, nothing out ordinary. pretty normal. Basically, Sample Lords has a composition that wants to team fight right away. I wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna go top right side or even straight on the point with the shield and just want to team fight. Basically like a speed boost on Reaper, possibly shield on your tank, Reinhardt or Reaper, and just go in, bang, bang. I mean, as soon as they will probably realize they have a Junkrat, they will want to team fight right away, but we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, and you're correct. We can see that they're indeed moving to the top right there through that building. We have a intermediate push there between the stairs and the first statue. Looking as the Roadhog, we've got the Reaper coming from behind as well as the Zarya. D.Va up here on the top right from Team Possibilities here, running by herself. She backs out, looking to go for a flank. We've got between their Junkrat inside the building. He's getting team. Oh, and there he falls. We've got the four more on the point. D.Va going for the flank. They're going inside the building. We've got a flank up top by the Lucio, trying to get that line of sight, of course, to see the healing go through. And look at that, we've got them. 2 more people fall. Inside the building, we've got the them grouping up, but there seems to be pinched between the two by Team Possibilities.
Exactly.
Reinhardt sort of floating around. Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. But like I said, the problem with Sample Lords is now they're kind of split in the house. Only 3-4 of them. They're not like a 6-man unit anymore like they used to be.
And look at that, we hear the Riptire up top, and there goes the Reinhardt down in the top building where he was just sort of idling by himself.
Exactly, this is very good for Destiny.
Yep. And there goes the Zenyatta, falls to the Junkrat. What a play there. So we've got Team Sample Lord sort of split up now. They're not really taking advantage of that push they had a moment ago. And yeah, there takes a team fall between Team Possibility.
Exactly. The issue earlier was when Sample Lords went in on the right side, it was pretty good, but the problem is the Reaper dropped alone by himself while his other 5 teammates were still up on the high ground. So basically what they should have done is either all of them drop down at that point or stay a bit on top, try to get the pick off, because Junkrat is not that good in verticality if he has to shoot super high up, especially when there's a shield in between.
And there comes a sound barrier from Team Possibilities to prevent the team rush there from the top right. Looks like Reinhardt is again pinned by himself going against D.Va. Zenyatta ults up to save, and there goes the mech destruction from D.Va to take out the Reinhardt. Kind of a waste there. I think there was no real reason for that. Looks at Reaper at the top right. He's in Wraith form. He's on the point. Looks like he's about to ult up there. There he goes. And he's immediately taken down with the D.Va absolutely absorbing the ulti while Reinhardt protects his team. And there goes Sample Lords again. No, not really taking advantage of this triple ult push, actually.
Yeah, well, what happened is when Sample Lords Reinhardt used his Earth Shatter, the Possibilities Reinhardt, the defenders, used his shield and completely blocked off the stun. And by doing that, none of his teammates were stunned. Otherwise, which would be like 3 of them would get stunned and the game would be much different. So it was a really great job from Ayur to block off the stun.
We notice here that they're coming again, keeping that same push up top right. We've got ultis from Earthshatter on Team Possibilities, while McCree with his Deadeye, Zenyatta with his Transcendence on Team Samplers. There goes the ulti from Reinhardt on Team Possibility to stun, and there's the Zarya ulti from Team Sample Lords. Takes down, and there comes the Deadeye as well. It looks like we've got 2 down, and 1 down from Team Possibilities and 2 down for the Team Sample Lord. Although Zarya's in the point, trying to absorb by herself. There goes the thing. Oh, and look, we've got they've got pushed off the point though, and Zarya just sort of idling by herself with really no support from her team. There comes the destruction from the D.Va from Team Possibilities, and nothing really happening, but it did push them off the point. So it continues to sort of delay going on there. We got D.Va sort of here by herself. She's holding off the Zarya from really being able to push into the control point. While it's quite honestly just a mess here with Team Sample Lords sort of not really taking advantage of their of the chaos for Team Possibilities. All the abilities coming up on the point here. 2 ultis go down with the Transcendence, and there goes Zarya for Team Sample Lords. Transcendence comes in to take her off the point as a last-ditch effort with Reaper trying to use his ulti to just clear out that point. Takes D.Va out of her mech for Team Possibilities. Zenyatta and Tracer, they switch to Tracer to just contest, and it looks like they may actually grab it. They've gotten the Team Possibilities off the point there.
It might be possible, but they're not 3 on point. Like, they can still contest by time. We'll see how it goes. This will be very close. However, looking by the ultimates, they do have Zen.
But there goes the Tracer ult to take out both Zenyatta and Lucio. Great pick from the Tracer player there. Get rid of both supports. It makes their sustain go down way further. Reaper falls as well. I think they will take this one. And there goes the team wipe. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Basically what happened is that the possibilities, they lost their Zen in this last fight because of Tracer Bomb, and Zen was unable to use his ultimate ability, Transcendence, to heal up and keep the teammates alive. And another thing, unfortunate, that the last fight happened before, when Zarya tried to Graviton Surge, D.Va, Mega, Blaster X simply blocked it off. That's why Graviton never happened, and that was another thing that was pretty good, looked pretty good for for the possibilities when they blocked the Graviton Surge. However, they still were not able to pull off the Zenyatta ultimate, which caused them the point. But now we'll see how it goes.
As they break through the second bend, or the first bend here rather, between the payload objective, Reinhardt here about to lose his shield really soon, both Reinhardts in fact. And there goes the shield. Earth Shatter from Team Possibilities. Self-destruct sequence though from Team Possibilities D.Va, and they back out a little bit. Here comes the sound barrier from Team Sample Lords. D.Va calls down back her mech, and Transcendence in reaction to that sound barrier from Team Possibilities. Huge team fight. Oh, big ulti from Reinhardt from Team Sample Lords. Just absolutely stunning the entirety of the Team Possibilities team. And the Deadeye gets blocked by both Zarya and Reinhardt. Not much of a use from Team Possibilities there. Team Sample Lord will be able to push quite easily up to the checkpoint, quite likely. Your thoughts on that team fight?
Yeah, this should be uncontested whatsoever, because there's very unlikely they will be able to group up as a 6-man unit to contest this checkpoint. However, Sample Lords do have Graviton Surge available. Meanwhile, the Possibilities do not have Zen ultimate anymore. They only have Lucio ultimate, but it might not be enough for the Graviton Surge.
They do get a pick. Team Sample Lords does get a pick on Zenyatta. It's a big deal because he can't build his Transcendence up. And Reinhardt pushes in to try and take out the Roadhog, succeeds.
Exactly, this is the opening window now for Sample Lords to push in, possibly with the Graviton, and just win the next team fight.
Reaper manages to escape from that pick, which useful for his team, but we'll see how much it goes. There goes Reinhardt's shield. Deadeye from Team Sample Lord, and he really doesn't get much from that. Although the Reinhardt does go down. Graviton Surge from the Zarya. Not really much doing there. They do get a pick off on the Reaper. However, they do get another pick off on the Reinhardt, and there's a lot of chaos going here. Not really much pushing. Not much in the terms of team fight.
Now they are pushing slightly.
Here we go. Here comes the Earth Shatter from Reinhardt for Team Sample Lords. The Lucio ult to follow directly up. That's a double pick. They got to get this Reinhardt off the point, and there goes the the Reaper ulti. They've got the McCree still trying to contest for Team Possibilities, but he's sort of all alone here. Here comes the Roadhog, and there's a pick, and that'll do it. We've absolutely got that first round done for Team Sample Lord all the way to the end.
Exactly, it seems Sample Lords were able to break the Reinhardt shield of Possibilities much faster than Sample Lords were able to break the shield of Possibilities. Sometimes, however, they still managed to get those pick-offs like on Roadhog and such, making it a 6v5 and gave them quite a big advantage. Also, Sample Lords did have advantage with Graviton Surge, especially after Lucio used his ultimate, because the Possibilities were running without any defensive ultimates, and if the Graviton Surge did hit at least 1-2 players, those would be sure kills, and they could probably take the point slightly earlier. However, it was still a pretty solid run from the Possibilities. I'm not sure about the time, 7 minutes and 41 seconds. I mean, that's a very high time, and I think their
slowness with that first point is it could come back to haunt them if
exactly. The Possibilities do have a lot of time to make the push through. But if the Possibilities are able to get the first point rather quickly, it could really snowball very easily for them and just get forward and forward. So we'll see how it turns out. So far the picks, I'm very curious about the Ana pick. Like, she's all right, but boosting outside of Reinhardt, Genji, I'm not sure about the Roadhog pick. I mean, maybe they think they have a D.Va, and basically what you want to do is like hook the D.Vas and get her out of the mech as soon as possible, so she stops blocking the shots. However, in this case, the opposing team, Sample Lords, do not have the D.Va, so I'm not sure about the Roadhog pick. It might pay off. Perhaps they will probably try to get a pick off with Roadhog hook first, and then engage a team fight when it's favorable, or try to get someone out of position with the hook at least, and then go for a team fight. Or perhaps they will just try to farm the ultimates, especially on Ana, as fast as possible, nano boost your Genji, Reinhardt, and go for a team fight that way.
Ana overheals her team. They go up also for the right side push through that building. We've got the team Sample Lords just sort of posting down there in that first choke point, trying to get a pick off. They do. Reinhardt gets that pick off as on. However, he falls pretty quickly. Both Genji and Roadhog and Reinhardt go down for team possibilities. That push really doesn't do much. Lucio on the point, trying to immediately killed by McCree though, and there's a team wipe for Team Sample Lord.
But what you can see, Thunder of Sample Lords, Reinhardt has ultimate already available so quickly. He got the ultimate very quickly, and now for the next fight, when possibilities will try to push in, he will simply have a stun to stop them right away, which is very important at this point in time, especially when possibilities do not have any defensive abilities. So Reinhardt is just waiting for a stun at this point, probably.
And there it goes. There's that stun. Takes down one only, the Roadhog. However, it does really sort of set up the push in, and Ana falls down. So we only got that one healer for team possibilities. Genji sort of idling by himself, going off 1v1 versus Reaper. Not really a good pick for Genji there, but we'll see what happens. In the rest of the teams inside the building, and there goes Genji. Now it's a 6v5. And looks like Team Possibilities is on the disadvantage here on that push. There's the sound barrier from Team Possibilities, but Reaper does his ultimate. Death Blossom, shielded by the Zarya, easily gets it off, but because of the Roadhog, Reinhardt shield, kind of ineffective. Roadhog falls to the Zarya, and we've got, again, sort of a 5-man v6 on that push for Team Possibilities.
Exactly. I think the issue with Sample Lords is when Reinhardt initiated with his Earth Shatter, he should probably be slightly more patient, let the possibilities come in more into them, slightly more into them, so he could get a nice stun where your team could follow up, because basically Sample Lords were forced to push in very deep.
Here comes the Reinhardt with his Earth Shatter, and there comes a Death Blossom on top of that Transcendence in reaction, though. That is going to be an even split. We're not really going to see much fall from there. I think there goes the shield falls for Reinhardt, and there he drops as well. Ana trying to keep up his team. McCree defensively uses ultimate for the Genji ult. However, it fails, and Genji just going in, doesn't really get much. 2 picks, rather, and 3 out, and look at that. That push. Roadhog tries and gets thing. Reaper gets his ultimate off, and he's about to go down. There goes. I think this is a capture for Team Possibilities.
Yes, it is. It looked very good first for Sample Lords when they had Zen ultimate to counteract the Reinhardt nano boost, and also Reinhardt got Graviton surged, which made his effectiveness much lower. However, Genji got unchecked with his ultimate. Nobody stopped the Genji, and Genji was able to get 2 important pickups, 2 kills, which allowed possibilities to snowball at this point. And just by looking at the ultimates, possibilities do have 2 ultimates available. Meanwhile, Sample Lords do have only 1. Reinhardt stun is alright, but at this point you probably want to have some kind of defensive ultimate for the next push of possibilities.
Unfortunately, Reaper for Team Possibilities pushing in a little bit, trying to poke a little bit, falls too easily. Reinhardt shield goes down. It's about to go down, rather. And Ana discorded. She's trying to heal as much as she can. She ults up on the Reinhardt, but the defensive Earth Shatter from Team Sample Lords pretty much negates that. And we got 1 pick for the Reinhardt with the Nano Boost. He ults up on the team, but it's blocked by the Sample Lords Reinhardt, and 2 fall for Team Possibilities. Roadhog tries his best. He really doesn't want to use his ultimate here because he's about to die. There he falls. And Team Possibilities has to retreat, with Team Sample Lord easily getting the team wipe.
Exactly. However, the problem with Sample Lords now is that Lucio kind of wasted his ultimate when he should not have used it, because they already had numerical advantage, and now it could bite them for the next team fight, because now they do not have any defensive ultimates available if the team fight right now.
Zarya for Team Sample Lords has gotten her ulti up. They're probably going to try and combo with the Reaper Death Blossom. There's a bit of a poke here going on. We've got the sound barrier, and there goes the team. The Reaper for Team Sample Lords takes out pretty much half the team for Team Possibilities, especially with the Lucio, who has that defensive sound barrier, of course, for Team Possibilities. Reaper picks off the Reinhardt as well, and there goes 3 for the Team Possibilities. Reaper indulging in a little bit of BM on that on that half team wipe.
Now it looks good for Sample Lords because they have Zen ultimate available, and also Lucio now as well, and a Graviton, and about to get High Noon, which is perfect for zoning. They have so many defensive abilities and offensive abilities, ultimates available for the next fight, so...
Here comes the offensive ult from the Reaper with his Death Blossom, takes down 3-4. Roadhog ults, and there's a defensive ult from Lucio. In my opinion, a bit of a waste. Kind of unnecessary.
Was a waste. Both ultimates were wasted, and these could bite them later on when they'll need, like, when would they really need the ultimate, especially for the next choke, because it is possible the Samplords will regroup and try to buy time, and now that Possibilities wasted their ultimates, they won't have a sure way to get this checkpoint easily.
There's the Graviton Surge from the enemy, the Team Sample Lords Zarya, coupled with the Sound Barrier from the Lucio, trying to get a push and get rid of that, make sure they can't reach that first checkpoint. However, there comes the offensive, or the defensive Reaper ult, takes down 4, takes down 5. We've got 5, and Ana's the only one left. She's sort of ineffective by herself, and there she falls. There's a team wipe for Team Sample Lords.
Basically what Sample Lords did, when they spotted the Possibilities wasted 2 of their ultimates, like Lucio and Ana Nano Boost, they realized we should teamfight right away because they don't have defensive ultimates, they don't have a great offensive ultimate. We can just Graviton, team wipe, and win for sure. And at this point in time... Sure, continue.
Oh, they're just offensive pushing a little bit. Looks like we've got 2 ultimates up for Team Possibilities. Although the Roadhog, there comes the defensive ultimate from Reinhardt. Transcendence up for Team Sample Lord. Genji trying to come in with his ulti, but Transcendence completely negating that. He's by himself. He will probably fall quite quickly with the team Possibilities on purpose. There comes the Sound Barrier from Lucio for Team Possibilities, and the nano-boosted Reinhardt, but he falls, and Roadhog looks to be by himself at this point with the Reaper and Ana just trying to support him, but he falls as well. Ana by herself, and there falls Reaper as well. Ana again by herself, with Genji still poking here. I did not realize he'd stayed up quite so long. However, he falls as well. There goes the team wipe again for Team
Exactly. It seems the issue for the Possibilities, nobody's dealing with the Reaper of Sample Lords in the backline. He should be focused fired much faster, so he's shut down or forced to shift out. And another thing is Lucio of Possibilities.
Oh, good heavens. McCree just got a pick off on that Lucio. This spells almost certain death for Team Possibilities. Offensive ulti from there it is, and an excellent defensive ultimate from the Reaper to prevent Team Possibilities from contesting. There goes round 1 to Team Sample Lord.
What is actually... That was overtime, so that should be how many minutes? 9 minutes, and like I would like to get it from the judge, how much time it is. However, yeah, this is pretty nice ulti here. However, like I said earlier, also another problem with Possibilities, the last fight, team fight they had, Lucio went too much forward and he got picked off by the opposing Reinhardt Thunder, which he simply charged him off.
McCree got the pick off on that play.
No, I'm sure Lucio got charged by Reinhardt the last team fight, and he got picked off, and that's why they lost the fight. What happened later on, they were just coming 1 by 1 at that point. I'm saying when it was like the actual 6 versus 6 team fight.
Oh yes, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I remember that play.
Exactly. After that loss, it was very unlikely for Possibilities to come back. They just had to go 1 by 1 because they're running out of time, unfortunately.
We just heard back from the from our referee, 7:06 time on that second match.
Okay.
And it looks like...
Yeah, I was just curious about how much time it was, but it's still... They will have to decide the next map. It's either Hollywood or Dorado. So we'll see what Possibilities will decide to play on. Dorado full payload map, Hollywood hybrid, just like King's Row. We'll see what they probably practice. They will probably pick what they practiced more on at this point, I think. Not much else. We'll see what they decide.
So Team Sample Lords takes a 1-0 lead over Team Possibilities with that rather convincing win on King's Row.
Yeah, it seems the issue with Possibilities that sometimes they did not manage their ultimates properly, like simply by wasting them in situations when it was not needed to use, and Sample Lord simply capitalized on such mistakes. They were ready. They saw the wasted ultimates when they were not needed, and the next team fight, which they made it very fast afterwards, they simply won by using their ultimates.
I think another thing we could notice is that Team Possibilities had were picked off a couple of times. It was completely unnecessary.
That as well, yes.
Keep in mind that one Lucio pick prevented overtime. Essentially,
yes,
that was devastating for them.
I agree, but in my opinion, the last biggest team fight was most devastating for them because they were forced to have a team fight when they just wasted 2 of their ultimates earlier when they had not to use them. And also Lucio got picked off by Reinhardt charge because he went forward. And if you lose your supports quite early in your team fight, you lose your healing, you lose the speed, or possibly even discord if Zen dies. And that one gives a massive advantage to the opposing team.
We did see an Ana pick. Do you think Ana will show up again? We did try. We saw that Reinhardt-Ana combo.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yes, it's possible to see her on attack. Ana on attack is quite good because usually, if executed properly, if Ana is able to get her nano boost very quickly, which it's rather possible, they can guarantee to win a team fight very easily. However, if they wait too much time for the defenders to get some of their defensive ultimates or even offensive ultimates like Graviton to shut down the guy who's nano boosted, then it will be negated. So it's all about the speed, how fast you will get your nano boost, and how fast will you get into the team fight with the nano boost before the defenders have some kind of defensive abilities to stop it, to prevent it, basically.
So we're just waiting for the two teams to pick their map. It looks like they will be playing on Dorado.
Yeah.
It looks like Draconis, captain of Team Sample Lords, is electing to attack first.
Yes.
I think they sort of want to set that baseline for that time so they can they know just how long they have to stall on that second.
Well, I usually personally prefer to defend first, so you can hold a really good defense, and then you know how much time you have when you're attacking. But that's about it, I would say. It seems someone had to go to the toilet or something. However, I don't know. I'm not sure about these kind of rulings. How long do we have to wait? Or yes, Potato? Something is written to me, but I'm not sure. Oh, bio break. Okay, so basically someone had to go to the toilet. I don't know about this. What are the rules if someone? How long we have to wait for?
I have not heard anything from the ref myself, so
okay,
we will,
I got it just now. It's 5 minutes between maximum.
Okay.
So there's pretty much not much to talk about because we personally do not have the knowledge of these players, what each one of them plays the most, or what they possibly will run again. However, I do expect the classic 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 2 DPS, which works quite well. I'm also curious the defenders, which should be the possibilities. How will they hold up their defenses? Will they be positioned properly this time, or they will position themselves in an awkward situation which might split them off again and lose the chokehold? That, like, the first point of Dorado, the chokehold under the bridge, is one of the hardest things to push if the defenders are in the right spot position.
And here we go. We just got confirmation from both team captains that both teams are ready, and we are loading into the match.
Exactly. All right, let's see the picks. What they're going to decide to play. Perhaps we're going to get another attacking Ana, which is always fun to watch. Those nano boosts are always really
Mercy,
exciting.
Symmetra, Zenyatta pick. How interesting.
I think they will probably swap off to something different. Yeah, just let's look at the other team meanwhile, which is the possibilities. Because usually they pick more serious picks or real picks right off the bat. Meanwhile, Sample Lords always pick something random from the start. So let's just see. The Junkrat, I'm not sure if he's going to play this time or just swap off. However, Junkrat does have some light or spot here at this choke point.
He also did have an excellent push in that first one where he got a pick off on the Reinhardt, who had his ultimate up with his retire.
Exactly. However, if Sample Lords execute properly, they will be able to outmaneuver the Junkrat if they get into a team fight rather quickly. Because Junkrat loses its effectiveness very quickly when the team fight starts, and also his ultimate is very easy to counter just by having a Mekri or anything that can shoot at it at this point. However, I'm not sure about decision of possibilities by not running a Reinhardt. They basically lost
they switched to they did switch to the Reinhardt at the last moment.
No, that's Sample Lords. I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Team possibilities.
Yes, exactly. They do not have a Reinhardt on defense, and Reinhardt is very good to have here because when you're holding the choke point, which is under the bridge at the marketplace, there are some open spaces when you kind of want the Reinhardt shield for protection. D.Va shield block is not enough at this point, but we'll see how it turns out.
It looks like team possibilities have elected to give up that first point, which is probably a smart move. It's not very easy to defend that. Reaper up there for Team Sample Lords, trying to poke a little bit, trying to see what he can pick off. Tries to go Wraithform across the thing, where he gets ambushed immediately by McCree. He backs off pretty quickly. McCree retreats to get to heal back. However, Team Sample Lord pushing that payload past that bridge up until they've hit that first choke point. We'll see how they can break through there.
Probably gonna flank them at this point just to play around Junkrat, perhaps.
McCree is by himself versus a McCree for Team Sample. Team Possibilities McCree is just sort of sitting there by himself. Finally gets back to his team, and they get a pick off on the Team Sample Lords McCree. Looks like D.Va has fallen for Team Possibilities. One of their tanks goes down. Team Possibilities has been forced apart quite a bit from the payload. That payload has reached that first checkpoint, or that first choke point, my mistake. And that's possibly the hardest part to break through. Reinhardt for Team Sample Lord falls.
You know, the payload might move backwards. However, you can see the issue starts for the possibilities that they do not have the stable Reinhardt shield like Sample Lords do have, and by having that stable shield, it really helps them to push the payload and poke back at them without getting any kind of damage whatsoever. It's
Reaper
really
gets
noticeable.
Reaper for Team Possibility gets a pick off on the McCree for Team Possibilities. D.Va comes up to fight her, but she's in a 2v1 and she gets removed from her mech. Zarya trying to combo, and she falls as well. And look at that, Team Sample Lords has 3 ultimates up, and Transcendence to try and save his team does so, and it looks like Team Possibilities will probably, most likely, fall here. Another pick off.
Indeed. However, the Sample Lords did a slight mistake by wasting Zenyatta ultimate because Riptide was already shot down. And even if you use the Zenyatta ultimate against Riptide, you're only gonna save yourself. Everyone else around you will die. He cannot out-heal instantaneous 600 damage, as far as I know.
Team Possibilities Zenyatta wasted his ultimate to try and keep that checkpoint for his team. Ends up falling quite easily.
Exactly. He probably was trying to buy extra seconds, but I think it was unnecessary.
There just isn't enough time. Correct. However, Team Possibilities, again, their Zarya falls pretty quickly. We see that Team Sample Lords is pushing very aggressively.
Snowballing. Yes, they're snowballing at this point, and also Sample Lords do have so many ultimates available, so they just want to team fight right away and win the next fight as well.
They get a pick off on the McCree, who has, of course, his for Team Possibilities, who has his ultimate up. It's useful on defense to zone. It looks like Team Possibilities Lucio does his sound barrier just to try and survive a little bit. There comes the D.Va ultimate, but it's going to be blocked by the Reinhardt for Team Sample Lord. Sample Lord's Reinhardt does the Earth Shatter and takes out the D.Va from her mech. Pushes up more. He pushes up more and more, taking out Zarya and Lucio. Zarya defensively ultimates to save herself, but it looks like she's going to not really be able to push. Gaben for Team Possibilities uses his Deadeye to try and take out Team Sample Lord. Really successful. Takes out 2, only Reaper left, and it's a 1v1 between, and then Reaper takes it out. He will be able to push quite significantly, as only Zenyatta is here to contest. However, his team falls up right behind him and pushes the Reaper for Team Sample Lord.
That was really good for, in the end, it was really good for possibilities with the High Noon and everything. However, now the problem is they do not have any more ultimates. Meanwhile, Sample Lord still have 3 ultimates available, now 4, and are ready to fight again. Meanwhile, the possibilities are not. So
not even close to their ultimates, with Zenyatta as a defensive ultimate only at 70%. We see that there's a bit of a skirmish going on here in that second choke point. There goes the Zarya ulti, try and absorb the team. Really ends up taking out Team Possibility. A Transcendence to try and save for Team Sample Lord. Doesn't really succeed. Exactly, a bit of a waste there trying to save the Reaper. However, it's 3 down for Team Possibilities, and it looks like Team Sample Lord will force the Genji off the point, end up killing him, and they will likely hit the second checkpoint with no issues.
Exactly, and Sample Lords still have some ultimates for the next attack, but this time Possibility should have an ultimate for it. However, at this point it seems Sample Lords are just snowballing every team fight.
Oh, and the Zenyatta gets off a pick for Team Sample Lord on the enemy Team Zenyatta. There goes that defensive ultimate, not a good sign for Team Possibilities. Exactly. And there comes the offensive High Noon, but absorbed by D.Va for Team Possibilities. Really effective play that D.Va can do, just soaking up the ultimates for her team.
Exactly.
However, Team Possibilities sort of ambush off in the corner with Genji and D.Va at the top, and Team Sample Lord just on the point, trying to do what they can. Not really much that Team Possibilities is able to, except retreat to that second checkpoint, or sorry, second choke point, yes, and try and hold down. Sound barrier from Lucio for Team Possibilities. Returned sound barrier for Team Sample Lord. There goes the ultimate from Reinhardt for Team Sample Lord, trying to get a pick off. Does not really do that much. Transcendence from Team Possibility just to try and keep its team up. And here comes Team Sample Lord pushing the payload further. There goes the ultimate for Reaper for Team Sample Lord. Takes down the Zarya and the Genji. Looks like self-destruct sequence from the Sample Lord's D.Va just to clear out the point. Sorry, from this Team Possibilities to clear out the point, but it ends up killing nobody. Looks like it's just D.Va on the point trying to contest. She's going to fall out of her mech. Genji from Team Sample, or Team Possibilities ultimate up, but there was a defensive ultimate from Zenyatta from Team Sample Lord, and it looks like Genji's not going to be very effective. He gets one pick, but not really able to get much more. He's going to be jumping around the point just to try and contest. They are at this last point, and there goes the ultimate from Zarya just to get them off the point. Gets that pick off. It looks like Genji just holding his own, and then he falls. D.Va, there's the ultimate from Reaper just to clear the point again, and it is almost certainly that this is going to be game for Team Sample Lord.
Yes.
There's the ultimate from Reinhardt, and it clears out.
However, I think possibilities were managed to buy at least 20 seconds of time here. I think Sample Lord should be able to clean this up much faster, and these 20 seconds could cost them the next round while they're defending. You never know. But like we said, 6 minutes and 10 seconds. I mean, this is a beatable time. It's not impossible whatsoever. However, it seems also Sample Lords were able to get some nice pick-offs, and then when they got the pick-off, they basically just wanted to engage into a team fight, which was 6 versus 5, and it was a huge advantage for Sample Lords. And it also seems to me that Sample Lords were managing their ultimates much better than possibilities, and as a defender, it's very important that you manage your ultimates properly, so you have some kind of ultimates for every team fight as much as possible. If you burn all of your ultimates, especially when it's not needed or already when the fight is lost, you won't have it for the next fight when it actually matters.
It looks like that seems to be a theme for Team Possibilities with poor ult management. It burned them that last game. It really, really affected them. They couldn't hit that last point because they'd wasted at least the Ana and Reinhardt or Lucio ult. And it seems again that their ult management in this match has been weaker than normal. The other issue that we noticed was that there was a bit of a trickle effect going on for Team Possibilities in that last point, where one person would die and then they would get a second pickoff, making it a 6v4 or 5v4, and then those last two would have to trickle back into the point.
Yeah, that was a huge problem indeed, but let's see how they decide to defend this time. I mean, attack. The picks, I kind of like Winston. Pretty decent, solid choice here, because you can get, like, if Sample Lords would be positioned at the high ground, Winston can just jump in, displace them. However, the problem that possibilities will run now is they do not have a shield. They really need the Reinhardt shield for pushing the payload, so you have some kind of cover when you're in the open space. The Winston shield alone is not enough, it's much weaker. And this might be a big trouble for possibilities by not having a reliable shield.
Winston goes up against the Reaper, just trying to get that pick off. Reaper was very strong in that last round. However, he just ends up falling. Winston is not very strong against Reaper. Eats him alive. Although the Roadhog ends up getting a pick on the Reaper with that hook. Forced to Wraith out and unable to really do much. Lucio on the point by himself, trying to be supported by Mercy. Not really a successful opportunity.
Exactly.
I don't understand why that happened. Seems to be a weak choice.
Yeah, Mercy at the moment is fallen out of the map. Like, Zenyatta is so much better. He can do damage, heal, and a great reactive ultimate that can be used like reactively, offensively, defensively, however you want. Mercy can only be used when your people die. You don't have much options.
I've noticed so far that, there comes the ultimate from the Reaper for Team Sample Lord, clearing out the point.
They're just buying time at this point.
Unfortunately for Team Possibilities, the Roadhog simply hasn't been able to execute on that combo from hook to left click. He had an opportunity twice on Reaper, allowed Reaper to Wraith out.
Yes.
Whether that is just a simple error on the system or just poor execution from Roadhog, it's still, the effect is the same.
I mean, I wouldn't exactly blame the Roadhog. It's very hard for him and for anyone in his team because they do not have a reliable Reinhardt shield to play behind while you're in the open space, like while pushing the payload. And at this point, Sample Lords are just discording the Roadhog, finishing him off very quick, and even Winston, because they don't, like, or even Merce, like, nobody has any real cover, and it's very easy for Sample Lords to get
Roadhog just got a pick for Team Possibilities on the Lucio.
Yes, but they still lost too many players.
Lost too many players. There's an ultimate from Roadhog trying to do damage to the Roadhog shield, or Reinhardt shield for Team Sample Lord. I'm not entirely sure what was the purpose of that.
Indeed, however, Sample Lords were slightly pushed too far.
Oh, and Lucio attempts to ult for Team Possibilities to save himself, but is killed before it can happen.
Yeah.
Mercy tries to get the res off. She gets a double res. There's an ultimate from McCree in revenge, and it takes out the Lucio. Transcendence for Team Sample Lords, trying to keep his team up.
Probably not even needed at this point.
Not necessary, correct. However, Team Sample Lords holding this really solidly.
However, they
Winston
are
falling
slightly pushing forward now. This could backfire for them if they push slightly too more into their spawn. However,
yes, easy. Genji falls for Team Possibilities. Team Sample Lord is having their way with Team Possibilities at this point.
Exactly, and also Sample Lords. Oh, Draconis is slightly low. No, he managed to live. However, Sample Lords do still have defensive ultimate of Lucio. Even if Zen wasted his ultimate, they still have at least one defensive ultimate and a nice graviton to stop any kind of push or win team fight for sure.
Here comes the Winston, but again, he falls before he even managed to do anything. Lucio picked off as well for Team Possibilities. Winston just isn't working out for Team Possibilities at this point, and in fact, I'm not entirely certain why they stay on him.
Exactly, they should basically... I think at this point they're also trolling because they see a Hanzo, but... and May, I don't know, but the problem with Team Possibilities was their picks. They had a really wrong composition for what they had to do. When you're pushing a payload like this, Reinhardt is automatic must. If you not have it, and especially if the opposing team has it like they did, it was very easy for Sample Lord just to shoot from behind the shield from relatively safety while they were out in the open getting picked off and getting damaged very easily.
I think this is unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure we've seen the end of Team Possibilities. Double defensive ultimates from Lucio on both teams, and it looks like Team Sample Lord is going to win this a full score of 2-0.
Yeah,
Genji's still on the point, he's idling, but they do have to hit that checkpoint, which remember is still quite a ways away, and he falls as well. Looks like Lucio just trying to contest, not really going to do much for his team. Falls as well. This is curtains for team Possibilities.
Yeah, I mean their captain said this is embarrassing. I agree. Like when they started to pick troll picks, it was really a joke in my opinion. Really not nice. However, they can only blame themselves for not picking proper things like Reinhardt. I don't know. Like I wish I could tell them in game, just pick Reinhardt. You'll have a chance, you know.
This was an excellent play of the game. Unfortunately, ended up being just a small part of it without really much affecting the match.
Exactly. I mean, at that point, I felt like Zarya ultimate was completely wasted, but somehow McCree managed to pull the high noon to make it at least worthwhile. But at this point, it was already... Oh, he got a legendary card.
70% kill participation, not too shabby.
Yes, but this is it, looks like. It's really unfortunate for Sample Lords. All they had to do was pick things that work for this type of situation, which I'll say 10 times again, but it has to be said, the Reinhardt shield.
There simply really wasn't enough damage, or there simply wasn't enough tanking to be done for Team Possibilities. They ended up falling way too frequently.
Exactly.
Really
There's nothing they can do about it. Like, you can have really great players in your team, but if you have a composition that does not work in this type of scenario, and the opposing team has the proper composition which works for this type of scenario, you will have a really bad time, unless if you outplay them by a large margin. But if you cannot outplay them by a large margin, and you just have to play by the book and pick things that make sense. It seems Possibilities did not have the right tactics or things in mind, or like maybe they didn't know what should or how should this be played out, and that's why they did not go with the shield. However, it really backed